Hi, welcome once more to Mr. Max. In this lesson, we are going to revise from February March 2017 trigonometry questions. February March 2017 trigonometry question, that is question number 5, 6 and 7. Okay. So let's start question number 5. In the diagram, the graph of the function f of x is equal to a sin x and g of x is equal to tan bx. So there are two functions given. F of x is equal to a sin x and g of x is equal to tan bx. So there are two functions given. One is f of x and the second one is g of x. And there is a graph drawn drawn on the same system of axes or for the interval 0 to 225. So there is a graph drawn. So let me draw that graph roughly here first. Okay. So it's from 0 to 225. So this is the given graph. Okay. And I draw a rough graph there. Now look at the first question, 5.1. Question number 5.1. What is that question? Write down the values of a and b. You have to write the values of this a and this b. Okay, a is on f of x graph and b is on g of x graph. Which one is our f of x graph? This one, sine graph. This is our f of x graph, the black one. Okay, so this is our f of x graph and this tan graph is our g of x graph. Okay, so in this f of x graph, let me write that f of x here once more. F of x is equal to a sin x. What is that a stands for? A stands for the amplitude. Am I right? Okay. So a stands for the amplitude. So if we draw the graph of this y is equal to sin x, it is going to be something like this. Okay, and here what is the maximum value? 1, and the minimum value is -1. Y is equal to 2 sin x. What is the maximum value? Maximum value is going to be 2 and the minimum value is going to be -2. Y is equal to 3 sin x. What is the maximum value? Maximum value is going to be 3 and the minimum value is going to be -3. Am I right? Okay, so this here, what is the value of a? It is 1. So when a is 1 or the amplitude is 1, the minimum value is -1 and maximum value is 1. When the amplitude is 2, minimum value is -2 and maximum value is +2. When the amplitude is 3, minimum value -3 and maximum value +3. Okay, I'm not talking about the shifting up or down. Okay, and this is only 2 sin x, not +1 like that. Okay, so here look at the reverse order. If the minimum value is -2, what is the amplitude? It is 2. If the minimum value is -3, what is the amplitude? 3. If the minimum value is -1, what is the amplitude? 1. Look at our f of x graph. In this f of x graph, what is the minimum value? At this point is the minimum value. At this point, what is the y value? -1. So what is the amplitude? It is +1. When the minimum value is -1, what is the amplitude? 1. Okay, so here in our f of x graph, here you can see that the minimum value is -1. It means that the amplitude a is equal to 1. Okay, now second one, g of x is equal to tan bx. G of x is equal to tan bx. Now tell me, what is that b stands for? B is the coefficient of x, that I agree, but what is the effect of that b in the graph? Using this b, do you remember, we can find the period of the graph. Okay, so for sine and For sine and cos graph, how can you find the period? Period is equal to 360 divided by coefficient of x. Do you remember this one? Okay, 360 divided by coefficient of x. And for a tan graph, what is the period? Period is equal to, what is the formula? Period is equal to 180 divided by coefficient of x. This is what you studied in small classes, how to find the period of a graph for sine and cos and for tan graph. Okay, period is equal to 360 divided by coefficient of x. In the case of tan, period is equal to 180 divided by coefficient of x. Okay, so for example, sine or cos, whatever may be, so cos x is equal to sorry, not cos x, let's say cos 3x. Y is equal to cos 3x. What is the period? Period, this is a cos graph, am I right? Okay, so period is equal to, in the case of sine and cos graph, 360 divided by coefficient of x. That means 360 divided by coefficient of x is 3. That means 360 divided by 3 is 120. So in the case of okay. So in the case of cos graph, what is the period? 360 divided by, in this equation, okay, 360 divided by 3, 120. Okay, so another example, y is equal to tan 3x. Here, how can you find the period? Formula is this one. So period is equal to 180 divided by coefficient of x, that is 3. You understand? So it is 60 degrees. Okay, anyway, what I'm trying to explain, this b determines the period of the graph. Okay, so also one more thing you have to understand. So how can you find, this is a tan graph, so what is the formula to find the period? 180 divided by coefficient of x. Don't forget this one. Okay, so those who doesn't know this one, you have to pause the video and write this formula. Okay, it's a very important one. So that is how you can find the period of the graph. Okay, now from the graph, how can you find the period? I'm talking about the tan graph. Okay, from the graph, how can you find the period? Period is in between two asymptotes. Here you can see that 45 is one asymptote and 135 is another asymptote. Okay, so what is period? The gap between these two asymptotes. That means 135 minus 45. What is that? 135 minus 45. It is 90. Okay, so the gap between two asymptotes, that's the period from the graph. I'm talking about the tan graph. Okay, so tan, in the case of a tan graph or trigonometry tan, how can you find the period? The distance between, or the gap between two asymptotes. So here 45 to 135, that means 135 minus 45, that is 90. That means in this, g of x is equal to tan bx, what is the period? It is 90. In our graph, the period of the graph is 90. Okay, but at the same time, we know that how to find the period. What is the formula to find the period? 180 divided by coefficient of x. That's what I explained before. Okay, 180 divided by coefficient of x. What is the coefficient of x here? It is b. Okay, and here when you divide 180 divided by coefficient of x, you are supposed to get the period. Am I right? Okay, but from the graph, now we know that the period is 90 between two asymptotes. What is the gap? 90. Okay, so when you divide 180 divided by b, coefficient of x, you are supposed to get the period, and from the graph we know now the period is 90. Okay, so what is b from here? You cross multiply this one. 180 is equal to 90 times b, or now take this 90 to this side. Okay, so what is that one? 180 divided by 90, whatever may that. Okay, so b is equal to 180 divided by 90 is What is answer? 2. So the value of B is equal to 2. Okay. So that is question number 5.1. Now let's move to next question, 5.2. Okay, let's go to question number 5.2. What is that question? Write down the period of f of 3x. You have to write the period of f of 3x. So what is our f of x graph? F of x is equal to a we got as 1. So 1 sine x, that is sine x. Okay, now our question is you have to write the period of f of 3x. Okay, so f of 3x. So here we can see when it is x, sine x. So instead of this x, they change to 3x. So here also we have to change to 3x. So it is f of 3x means sine 3x. Am I right? Okay. So now you have to find, what is the question? You have to find the period of this graph. So what is the formula to find the period in the case of sine graph? This is a sine graph. The first question I explained that one. What is the formula? 360 divided by coefficient of x. So here 360 divided by what is the coefficient of x now? It is 3. So it is divided by 3. So it is 120 degrees. So the period of the graph is 120. Okay. So that is question number 5.2. Now let's go to question number 5.3. Okay, question number 5.3. Question number 5.3. Determine the values of x in the interval 90 to 225. So you have to find the values of x. Okay, and what is the interval? 90 to 225. That means 90 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 225. Okay, and what is the condition for which f of x into g of x is less than or equal to 0? F of x into g of x is less than or equal to 0. So listen once more. In graphs and function in paper 1 you studied this type of questions. Okay, so listen once more. What is the question? You have to find the values of x. Okay, so x means this x-axis. This is the x values. Okay, so you have to find the values of these x values. Then what is the condition? F of x times g of x. When you multiply that two functions, the answer is either 0 or less than 0, negative. Okay, so when you multiply that two functions, either 0 or less than or equal to, either 0 or less than 0. Okay, so you have to find the corresponding x values. That is the question. Okay, so now how can you find? Before you find that one, you have to understand one thing. You want to find between the interval 90 to 225. Okay, so 90 to 225 means between these two. This is 90, x value 90, and this is x value 225. So it means that you don't want to know what is happening, or you don't want to even consider what is happening after before that 90. This is let me write that one, 90. Okay, this is the point 90. Okay, so you don't want to consider what is before that 90, because your interval is from 90 to 225, 90 to 225. So in this area, what are the values of x satisfying this condition? Okay, so listen once more. When you studied graphs and functions, I explained this one clearly. When you multiply two functions, the answer is less than or equal to 0 means that when you multiply two quantities, the answer is less than or equal to 0 means negative. Okay, and the answer is negative. So what are the possibilities? If you want to get the answer as negative, it means that either the first one is positive and the second one is negative. Then positive times negative is negative. Am I right? Or what is the other possibility? When you will get the answer as negative, less than or equal to 0 means negative. That is what this one. Okay. So either the first one is negative and the second one is positive. Okay. So it means that if you want to get the answer as negative, 0 or less than or equal to negative, okay, either first one is positive, f of x is positive and g of x is negative, or f of x is negative and g of x is, that's the same thing, positive negative or negative positive. Then you multiply, you will get the negative answer. Positive negative, f of x positive, g of x negative, or f of x negative, g of x positive. Okay, then only you will get the negative answer. Negative times positive is negative, positive times negative is negative. Okay, so now you have to think, when can you say that the graph is positive and when can you say that the graph is negative? Okay, try to understand like this. If the graph is above x-axis, this is the x-axis, am I right? Okay, if the graph is above x-axis, it is positive. If the graph is below x-axis, it is negative. Listen once more. If the graph is above x-axis, positive, below x-axis, negative. So here, what about this graph? Here you can see that the graph is above x-axis. So here it is positive. All this part it is positive. Why? Because it is above x-axis. And what about here? Here you can see that the graph is below x-axis. That means here it is negative. All of this one is negative. And even this graph also, here you can see it is negative. Why? Because it is below x-axis. But here you can see that this one is positive. Can you say why? Above x-axis. This one is positive. Why? That one is also above x-axis. So if a graph is above x-axis, that is positive, below x-axis it is negative. Okay, so we want positive and negative. So look at this one. We want positive and negative means that one f of x graph must be one graph must be on above x-axis and the other graph must be below x-axis. Look at this one. This g of x graph is above x-axis. Here f of x graph is below x-axis. That means positive times negative. That is what we want. Am I right? Here positive times negative, here also positive times. But look at this one. After 135, what is happening? After 135, what is happening? This is negative. The black graph is negative below x-axis. Blue graph is also negative. Am I right? Below x-axis. That means negative times negative is positive. We don't want that. We want one is positive, one is negative, like that. What is happening after 180? Both the graph is positive. That means positive times positive is again positive. We don't want that one. We want negative. You understand? So between which values? Between 90 and 135, one is positive and the other graph is negative. Negative times positive is negative. You understand? So between which values? 90 is also included. Okay, so between 90 and 135. Okay, but here you have to be very careful. This 135 is an asymptote. So you can see that this graph never going to touch that asymptote. Am I right? Okay, so it means that at 135, this dotted line is asymptote 135. At that 135 there is no graph. Okay, so we can't put a square bracket here. If you put a square bracket here, it means that we are including that 135 also. Okay, so we can't put a square bracket there. We have to put a open bracket like this. Okay, so 90 there is no problem because at 90 g of x is there and f of x is also there. 90 we can include, but we can't include 135 because that is a asymptote, and you know that on asymptote there is no graph. Okay, so we have to put an open bracket there. You understand? Okay, then here in this question there is a tricky part there that you have to understand. Let me put a square, open bracket there. Okay, look at this question. f of x into g of x is less than or equal to 0. Okay, so this 90 to 135 is less than 0. Positive into negative is negative, less than 0. Then where is this equal to part? Look at this one. We are supposed to take 90 to 225, 90 to 225. Is there any equal part? Equal to 0? Yeah, here you can see that at this point, if you multiply both the graphs, the answer is 0. Am I right? Okay, so it means that you have to include that 0 also. Okay, I mean 180 also. You have to include that 180 also. Okay, so it means 90 to 135, that is positive and negative. Okay, and why we want to include this 180? Because at 180 the answer is x value is 0. Am I right? Okay, so we have to include less than or equal to 0. So at 180 you can see that it is 0 here. Okay, both the graphs are equal. Okay, so it means that we have to include that 180 also. Okay, so what is the meaning of this one? In probability you studied, don't wonder about that one. In probability you studied this one stands for union. Union means you have to include that one also. Okay, that is the meaning of this union. Okay, or you can just write 90 to 135 or 180. You can write it like that also. Okay, okay, so 90 to 135 union 180. Okay, so that is 5.3. Now let's go to next question, question number 6. Okay, question number 6. Question number 6. What is that one? Without using calculator. So in this question we are not allowed to use a calculator. Determine the following in terms of sine 36. So what is the meaning of that one? In terms of sine 36. So in terms of sine 36 means in terms of sine 36. It means that in your answer, the answer that you are going to find, in that answer the sine 36 must be there. Okay, so look at that question once more. Without using calculator, determine the following in terms of sine 36. That means in your answer the sine 36 must be there. Okay, okay, let's see what is question number 6.1.1. 6.1.1 sine 324 sine 324 is in which quadrant? 324 means that is on the fourth. This is 270 and this is 360. So 324 means it is on the fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant, how can you write? 360 minus theta. Am I right? That is how you studied your reduction formula. Okay, so this sine 324 we can write it like this: sine of 360 minus which number? Check what is 360 minus 324 in your calculator. You will get a 36. Okay, so sine of 360 minus 36. 360 minus 36 is 324. Okay, so how can we write it like this? Because this 324 is in the fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant, how can you write? 360 minus theta, that acute angle. So 360 minus which angle is 324? 360 minus 36 is 324. Okay, so now what is this one? 360 minus reduction method. Okay, 360 minus 36 is in which quadrant? Fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant, what is positive? Here all sine, tan, cos. Cos is positive here. Am I right? Okay, so here what? Sine. So it is supposed to be negative. Okay, is there any change? No. If it is based on the horizontal line, there is no change in the trigonometry. So it is minus sine, then the angle is 36. So listen once more. This is a reduction method. Okay, you have to watch that first class lessons. Okay, 360 minus 36 is in which quadrant? 360 minus 36 is in the fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant, what is positive? Cos is positive. Here what? Sine. So it is negative. Any change? No change, because if it is based on 180 or 360, no change in the trigonometry. So it is sine, here also sine. Then 36 acute angle. So now we can see that you wrote the answer in terms of sine 36. That is our question. So sine 324 in terms of sine 36 is minus sine 36. Okay. Okay. Next question, 6.1.2. What is that question? Cos 72. Cos of 72. You have to write this one also in terms of sine 36. That means in your answer that sine 36 must be there. That's all. Okay. Doesn't matter. Maybe you are some of you are thinking when you get this answer, it is not sine 36, it is minus sine 36. No. In your answer there must be a sine 36. That's all. Okay. Maybe it can be 2 sine 36 or minus 5 sine 36 plus 6, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, but that sine 36 must be there in your answer. That is the meaning of that question. Okay, so that is why here we can write minus sine 36. Is sine 36 here? Yes, there is sine 36 there. Okay, doesn't matter this minus. Okay, next question, cos of 72. So here also we are supposed to write the answer in terms of sine 36. Sine 36 must be there in your answer. Okay, so how can we write that one in terms of sine 36? So here what you have to do is first you have to check is it possible anyway write sine 36 there. Okay, like this reduction method, but I don't think 72 is somewhere here acute angle. Okay, so we can't write the 72 means 90 minus what? 90 minus 18 80, yeah, 90 minus 18 is 72, but it's 18, not the 36. Okay, so what we can do here, what is the double of 36? 36 times 2, what is that one? 72. That means this 72 is the double of 36. So look at how I am going to write. Cos of 2 times 36. 2 times 36 is 72. Okay, so that 72 we can write it as 2 times 36. Now you know this 2 times theta, cos 2 theta. Okay, if I call that 36 as theta, if I call this 36 as theta, how you are going to read that? Cos of 2 theta. It's a double angle. Do you remember how many expansions you studied for cos 2 theta? 3 expansions. Am I right? What are they? First one is 2 cos squared theta minus 1. You have to by heart this one formulas. Okay, 2 cos squared theta minus 1. Second one, 1 minus 2 sine square theta. Third one, or cos squared theta minus sine square theta. You have to know all these three. Okay, so which one we can use so that we can write the answer in terms of sine 36? Yeah, we can use this one. Can you see there is sine square 36 there? Okay, so I'm going to apply that one here. So here this one is, this is equal to cos 2 theta. Theta is 36. Okay, so how can you write? 1 minus 2 sine square theta. So what is our theta? 36. 1 minus 2 sine square 36. Cos 2 theta 236. 2 times. So our theta is 36. So when it is cos 2 theta, we are using this formula. Okay, there are 3 different formulas. In our question we are going to use this formula because we want the answer in terms of sine 36. Okay, so 1 minus 2 sine square then theta is 36. Okay, so now we can see that our answer is in terms of sine 36. Of course it is sine squared 36, that is sine 36 into sine 36. Anyway, sine 36 is there. Okay, so that is 6.1.2. Now let's go to next question, 6.2. Question number 6.2. What is that one? 6.2. Prove the identity 1 minus, you have to prove that what is that, 1 minus tan square theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta, and you have to prove that this one is equal to cos square theta. You have to prove that tan square theta 1 minus tan square theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta is equal to cos square theta. This is what you want to prove. Okay, so now how can we prove? Let's take the left hand side, LHS. Okay, so left hand side is equal to, so you know that if it is something like this, 1 minus b by a. Okay, how can you simplify this one quickly? How can you take the LCM? Okay, you just multiply this, you know, as primary school you find like this, divide a is a LCM, then like that. Okay, but a simple method, now you are in grade 12. Okay, how can you find the LCM quickly, or LCD, whatever may be? This a you have to multiply this with 1. Okay, then minus b, that means a times 1 is a minus this b, then you just write this a as LCD. Okay, so 1 minus b by a is a times 1 is a minus b divided by this denominator. Okay, similarly 1 minus tan square divided by 1 plus tan square theta, I'm going to find the LCD here. So here what we did, a times 1, here what we want to do, this 1 plus tan square theta times 1. Okay, so 1 plus tan square theta times 1 is 1 plus tan square theta, then minus b, minus what is our b, tan square theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta divided by a, divided by this a. Okay, so divided by 1 plus tan square theta. So here you can cancel this plus tan square theta and minus tan square theta. So what is remaining? 1 divided by 1 plus tan square theta. Okay, so here now after this look at our right hand side. Our right hand side is cos square theta. Here what we have? Tan square theta. So we have to convert that into cos squared. Okay, so what we can do, sine square theta, how can you write? You know, tan theta, what is tan theta? Sine theta divided by cos theta. Okay, so here tan square theta, so it is 1 divided by 1 plus sine square theta divided by cos square theta. That tan square theta we can write it like this. Okay, now just like the previous step, here I have to take the LCM. Okay, so what must I do? This cos square theta, just like the one that I showed you, a plus b by a, 1 plus b by that one. Okay, so similarly here this cos square theta times 1, that's a shortcut method. Okay, cos square theta times 1 is cos squared theta, then plus this sine squared theta, that means I'm going to take the LCM, that's all. Okay, the whole divided by this cos squared theta. Okay, so what I did, cos squared theta into 1 is cos squared theta plus sine squared theta divided by cos squared theta. Now tell me, what is this cos squared theta plus sine squared theta? You studied in the opposite way, but it's the same thing. Sine squared theta plus cos squared theta. Yeah, you know that sine squared theta plus cos squared theta is 1. Okay, so this one is 1 divided by 1 by cos squared theta. Okay, so now look at this. How do you get this one? How do you get this one? Sin squared theta plus cos squared theta is 1. That's an identity. Okay, now how can you solve this one? So here look at this one. A divided by B by C. Okay, so what you have to do is this is a shortcut method. When it is like this, okay, take this C and multiply with the numerator. Okay, so A times C, that is AC divided by then this B. That's a shortcut method. Okay, A divided by B by C, take this C and multiply with this A, so it is AC divided by B. Okay, so similarly this cos squared theta we have to multiply this to this 1. Okay, so it is 1 times cos squared theta divided by B. B is here, this one. So here in our case it is 1. So 1 times cos squared theta is cos squared theta divided by 1 is same cos squared theta, and that is our RHS. That is what we want to prove. Okay, so prove that this one is equal to, so we took the left hand side and simplify and we got the right hand side. Okay, so that is 6.2. Now let's go to next question, 6.3. Question number 6.3. Okay, question number 6.3. What is question number 6.3? Use question number 6.2, the previous one. Use that one to determine the general solution of 1 minus, you have to find the general solution of 1 minus tan square half x divided by, this division is only for this tan squared x, divided by 1 plus tan square half x is equal to 1 over 4. So you have to, question is to find the general solution of this expression, this equation. Okay, so you have to find the general solution of this one, general solution of this one. Okay, so before and use the question number 6.2. What is question number 6.2? Look at question number 6.2. What we proved there, we already proved that 1 minus tan square theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta, and that is equal to cos square theta. Am I right? We already proved that one. 1 minus tan square theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta is cos square theta. Okay, so look at this equation and this previous one. Okay, what is the difference here in between these two? 1 minus, it's the same. Then tan square theta, but here it is half x. 1 plus tan square theta, 1 plus tan square half x. The only difference is in this equation, instead of this theta, they wrote it as half x. Am I right? Okay, and so here what is going to happen? This one is, when it is theta, it is cos square theta. Okay, so when it is half x, what is here? Cos squared half x. Am I right? When it is theta here, what is answer? Cos squared theta. So if here it is half x, what is answer? Cos squared half x. Am I right? Okay, so this expression, the given one, is the same as cos square half x. This expression I can write it as cos square half x, okay, is equal to 1 by 4. Listen once more. We already proved that 1 minus tan square theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta is cos squared theta. Now what is this one? This one is, they just change this theta as half x. Okay, so if they change on the left side, it means that the right side also will change similarly. Am I right? Okay, so instead of this theta, it is half x. Then what is going to happen on the right side? Cos squared half x. So instead of this 1 minus tan squared half x divided by 1 plus tan squared half x is the same as cos squared half x. Okay, so this expression we can write it as cos squared half x, and that is equal to 1 by 4. So in effect, you have to find the general solution of this cos squared half x is equal to 1 by 4. That is all. That's all. Okay, so now let's think about this one. Cos squared half x is equal to 1 by 4. So what is cos half x? Cos half x is square root of 1 by 4. Am I right? Okay, cos squared half x is 1 by 4. So what is cos half x? Square root of 1 by 4. So cos half x is equal to plus or minus 1 over 2. Okay, so it means that cos of half x is plus or minus 1 over 2. Now we have to consider individually. First plus 1 over 2 and minus 1 over 2. Okay, so let me erase this one. So before you continue watching this one, those who didn't write this one, write. Okay, so now our expression is cos half x is equal to plus or minus 1 over 2. Okay, so cos half x is equal to plus or minus 1 over 2. So it means that either positive half or negative half. Okay, so it is cos of 1 over 2x is equal to either positive half or cos of 1 over 2x is equal to minus half. Okay, so there are two possibilities, either positive cos half x is equal to positive half or cos half x is equal to minus half. Okay, now from our question is to find the general solution, isn't it so? Okay, so here from this expression, look at this one. Cos of an angle is positive. Cos is positive in which quadrants? Cos is positive. Here all are positive, and here cos is positive. Here cos is negative. Here that quadrant also cos is negative. Okay, so cos is positive on the first and fourth quadrant. Okay, so first quadrant cos is positive. That means it's on the first quadrant and fourth quadrant. Okay, let's think about the first quadrant. First quadrant, how can you write? Half, our angle is half x. Okay, is equal to cos inverse of 1 over 2, then plus k 360, or we can find the reference angle first. Okay, before I write this one, what is a reference angle? What is a reference angle? Reference angle is cos inverse of 1 over 2. Check in your calculator, what is cos inverse of 1 over 2? Cos 60 is 1 over 2. So cos inverse of 1 over 2 is 60. Okay. So first I try to find the reference angle, that is cos inverse of 1 over 2, that is 60. Okay. Now let's think about this one. Cos is positive on the first or fourth quadrant. Okay. So let's think about the first we can do first quadrant. First quadrant, how can you write? Our angle is half x. Don't forget that. This is our angle. Okay. Half x is equal to cos inverse, that means 60. So 60 plus k 360. K 360 means it's because of the first quadrant. I mean because of the cos. Okay. So from here, what is x? You throw out to multiply with 2. Okay. Just to remove this 2. So you throw out multiply with 2. So multiply with 2, multiply with 2, multiply with 2. So what is answer now? X is equal to, this 2 and 2 cancel. So x is equal to 120 plus k 720 degrees. That is one answer. That is based on the first quadrant. So cos is positive on first quadrant and fourth quadrant. Now we have to talk about the fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant, how can you write? Half x is equal to 60 is our reference angle. This is our reference angle. This one is our reference angle, 60. Okay, so half x is equal to fourth quadrant 360 minus theta. Am I right? Okay, so fourth quadrant 360 minus reference angle. So 360 minus reference angle. What is the reference angle? 60. So 60 plus k 360. So half x is equal to 300 plus k 360. So how can you find x? Just like the previous one, multiply throughout with the 2. Okay, so 2 cancel. So remaining is x is equal to 600 plus k 720 multiply with. So the second x value is 600 plus k 720. So here this is only the half part. When cos is positive, here we have cos is negative. That one also you have to do. Okay, so the next one is cos is negative. That one we have to do. So cos is negative in which quadrants? Here cos is positive. That means cos is negative in the second and third quadrant. Am I right? Here cos is negative because there it is sine is positive, tan is positive. That means cos is negative. Okay, so we have to here also what is reference angle? Reference angle is cos inverse of, just ignore this minus 1, then cos inverse of half, that is 60. Okay, there also is the reference angle is the same, 60. Now we have to think about the second quadrant and third quadrant, because cos of an angle is negative. Cos is negative in the second and third quadrant. So what about the second quadrant? Second quadrant, what is our angle? Half x. Half x is equal to, second quadrant, how can you write? 180 minus the reference angle. So it is 180 minus reference angle is 60. So 180 minus 60 plus k 360. Okay, half x is equal to 180 minus 60 is 120 plus k 360. Then to find x, you just multiply throughout with the 2. So 2 cancel, x is equal to 120 times 2 is 240 plus k into 360 times 2 is 720. So this is another solution. That is on the second quadrant. So similarly cos is negative on the third quadrant also. So third quadrant, there half x is equal to, our angle is half x, this one. Okay, then third quadrant, how can you write? 180 plus. Okay, so it is 180 plus reference angle plus k 360. 180 plus 60 means it is 240. Okay, so that one is half x is equal to 240 plus k 360. Here also to find x, you throughout multiply with the 2. 2 cancel, x is equal to 240 times 2 is 480 plus k 360 times 2 is 720. So the next one is 480 plus k 720 degrees. So how many solutions, general solutions we got? One here, second one, third one, and the fourth one. How many marks for this question? 6 marks. Oh, that's why. Okay, so anyway, that is question number 6.3. Now let's move to question number 6.4. Okay, let's go to the next question, 6.4. Question number 6.4. What is that question? Cos of a minus b given cos of a minus b is equal to cos a cos b plus sin a sin b. So it is given that cos of a minus, that formula, okay, cos of a minus b is equal to cos a cos b plus sin a sin b. Okay, and based on that one, First question 6.4.1. What is that question? Use the formula for cos of a minus b to derive formula for sine of a minus b. You have to use this formula to derive sine of a minus b. Okay, so what is the meaning of that question? You have to use this formula, the given one, cos of a minus b, okay, and try to find the formula for sine of a minus b using this formula. Okay, that is a question. Okay, so for that it's like a theorem that you have to know. It's a frequent question. Okay, so before I explain that one, try to understand like this. Sine of let's say sine of 30. Okay, so this sine of 30 is, I can write it like this, cos of sine of 30. Okay, I can write it like this, cos of 90 minus 30. What is 90 minus 30? 60. So check in your calculator what is the answer of sine 30. In your calculator you will get a half. Okay, cos of 90 minus 30 is 60. Check in your calculator what is cos 60. That one is also half. Okay, so sine of 30 you can write it as cos of 90 minus 30. Okay, so similarly sine of let's say 20. Okay, how can I write this one? Cos of 90 minus 20. Do you understand? Okay, sine of 20 is the same as cos of 90 minus 20. Sine of 20, if you try to find the answer in your calculator, 90 minus 20 is 70. So then cos of 70, try to find the answer. You are getting the same answer. Okay, so sine of 30, we can write it as cos of 90 minus what? 90 minus this angle. Okay, so whatever you write here, 20, here I wrote 20, so 90 minus 20. Can you see that? Okay, so now look at this one. Sine of an angle, a minus b is an angle. Okay, like a 30, a minus b 30, like that. Okay, sine of an angle, how can you write that one as cos? This sine of an angle, here we can write it as cos of 90 minus that angle, a minus b. Do you understand? Cos of sine of 30 is cos of 90 minus that angle. So sine of that angle is equal to cos of 90 minus that angle. Okay, so now look at this one. I'm just trying to make some alteration here. This 90 minus a, I'm going to expand that one. Okay, cos of 90 minus a. Okay, this minus into a is minus a. Okay, then this minus into minus b, I'm going to write it like this, minus of minus b. Minus of minus b is positive b. Look at this, actually I expanded this one. Minus into a is minus a, minus into minus b is minus into minus positive b. Okay, so 90 minus a minus minus b. Okay, so now this one, cos of 90 minus a, I wrote it as one term, then this one. Okay, then minus b. Okay, so now look at the formula given and the formula that we wrote now. Okay, so compare these two. This is let's say this is my a, this one is my a. Okay, the whole of that 90 minus a is my a. Okay, and this whole of this minus b as my b. Okay, so actually is it not like this, cos of a minus b. Okay, that is the given formula. Look at this one, cos of a minus b. Okay, so only difference is here a, this one is 90 minus a. Okay, and here this b, here it is minus b. Otherwise the structure is the same. Okay, so now using this method I'm going to expand this one. Okay, so look at how I'm going to write cos of cos a. So it is cos, our a is 90 minus a. Okay, then cos b. So what is our b? our b is minus b. Then plus, so here it is plus sine a, sine, what is our a? 90 minus a. Then sine b, sine of b, our b is minus b. I expanded using this method, this given formula. Okay. Now 90 minus a is in which quadrant? 90 minus means first quadrant. First quadrant all are positive. Okay. But if it is based on 90, you have to first quadrant all are positive. But if it is based on 90, you have to change to its cofunction. What is the cofunction of cos? Sine, and it is positive because first quadrant everything is positive. Cos of minus b, last question I told you, cos of minus theta, that is minus cos theta, I mean sorry, cos of minus theta, that is the same as cos, positive cos theta. Don't forget these three. Sine of minus theta, minus sine theta. Tan of minus theta, minus tan theta. The only difference is for this cos. Cos of minus theta is positive cos theta. So cos of minus b is positive cos b. So it is cos of positive cos b. Cos of minus theta is cos theta. So cos of minus b is cos b. Then 90 minus a is in which quadrant? First quadrant. First quadrant everything is positive. Okay. And if it is based on 90, you have to change to its cofunction, that is cos. Cofunction of sine is cos. Then cos a into sine of minus b. Sine of minus b minus sine b. So minus sine b. Okay. This minus into this plus is minus. So it is sine a cos b, plus into minus is minus cos a sine b. And so now we got an expression for sine of a minus b, that is sine a cos b minus cos a sine b. Okay. So that is question number 6.4.1. Now let's go to question number 6.4.2. Question number 6.4.2. What is that question? 6.4.2. Without using calculator, so it means you are not allowed to use calculator. Show that sine of x plus 64, sine of x plus 64 into cos of x plus 379 plus sine of x plus 19 into cos of x plus 244, and that one is equal to 1 over root 2. 1 over root 2. This is what you want to show. Okay, show that this, the whole of this expression is 1 over root 2. Okay, so here how can you prove this one? So when you have an equation like this, or when you have a lengthy left hand side, okay, so look at this one, sine of an angle, whatever angle, okay, sine, let's say I'm going to say theta just for me to understand. Okay, so sine theta cos theta plus, then let's say read this one, cos theta plus into sine theta. Is it not something like this? Sine theta cos theta plus cos theta sine theta. Okay, but what is the, if it is like this, what is the, what we know that it is sine of, okay, let's not theta, this is sine a cos b plus cos a sine b. If it is like this, how can we write sine of a plus b? Am I right? Okay, but here there is a problem. Here it is a and here also it is a, but look at this one, x plus 64 and x plus 19. So something is not the same. Here it is 6 plus 64, here it is 379, here it is 19, here it is 244. Okay, so it means we have to adjust something there. Then only how many marks for this question? 6 marks. That's why it's a lengthy step. Okay, anyway, let's see. So first we can take the left hand side. So it is 64. This 64 is here 379. What is that 306? Is it not the 360 plus 19? That is 379. Can you see a 19 here? So something there. You understand? Okay. Then what? 244. Here it is 64. How can I write that one? Yeah, it is 180 plus 64. 180 plus 64 is 244. You understand? Okay, so first write what we know. Okay, so sine of x plus 64, I'm not going to touch on that one. Then this one, cos of x plus 360 plus 19. That this 379, I split it like this. Okay, then plus sine of x plus, that I'm not going to touch. Then cos of, let me erase that 1 by root 2. That is what we want to prove. Okay, so this one, cos of x plus, I'm going to write it like this, 180 plus 64. Okay, that 244, 180 plus 64. Okay, now what is this one? This is sine of x plus 64, then cos of let's write this one first. You know, normally we are writing like this, whatever maybe cos of 360 plus, am I right? Okay, so that 360 or 180 or 90 or 270, that is what we are normally writing first. Okay, so let me write this one first. So it is cos of 360 plus, then let me write x plus 19, put in a square bracket. Okay, 360 plus x square, actually it's the same thing, x plus 360 plus 19. Okay, I wrote it like this. Then plus sine of x plus 19 into cos of x plus 180 plus 64. So let me write this 180 plus first. Okay, so it is cos of 180 plus x plus 64. I wrote it like that. Okay, now next step, this is equal to sine of x plus 64 into 360 plus. 360 plus means which quadrant? 360, this is 360. 360 plus means it's on the first quadrant. 360 minus is on the fourth quadrant. Okay, so this one is on the first quadrant. First quadrant all are positive, so cos is also positive. So it is cos of 360 plus an angle. So we are supposed to write a cos of that angle. So it is x plus 19. Then plus sine of x plus 19 into 180 plus. 180 plus means which quadrant is that? 180 plus, that means third quadrant. Third quadrant, what is positive? Tan is positive. Here what? Cos. So it is negative. Okay, so minus, then no change. If it is based on 180 or 360, no change. So it is minus cos, then that angle is x plus 64. So this minus times plus is minus. Okay, so next step, sine of x plus 64 into cos of x plus 19, minus into plus is minus. Then let me write this one first. Okay, so cos of x plus 64 into, then let me write this one just for you to understand easily. Okay, x plus 19, otherwise it's the same thing. Okay, so a into b is the same as b into a. So sine of this angle is equal into cos of this angle, so that's the same as cos of that angle into sine of that angle. Okay, just to swap it around, that's all, just for you to understand the next step. So now can you see something here? Look at this one. If you call this x plus 64 as a, x plus 64, if I call it as a, okay, so this one is a, then x plus 64 here also there is an a there. Okay, then if I call this x plus 19 as b, okay, so there is a b here, and x plus 19 there is a b here. Okay, so if just try to read like a and b, sine a cos b minus cos a sine b, is it not like that? Okay, so what is the expression for sine a cos b minus cos a sine b? That is sine of, that one is sine of a minus b, sine a cos b minus cos a sine b. Okay, so like that we can write it here. It implies that sine of a minus b, our a is x plus 64, so x plus 64 minus b, what is our b? X plus 19. Okay, sine of a minus b, b, this one is of this form, sine of a minus b. Okay, so what is this one? Sine of x plus 64 minus into x is minus x, minus into 19 is minus 19. So now that plus x and minus x you can cancel, so remaining is sine of 64 minus 19. What is 64 minus 19? 54, 44, 45. Okay, so it is sine of 45, and that is 1 over, sine 45 is 1 over root 2, and that is what we want to prove. That is the RHS. Yeah, it's a lengthy step, but it's a 6 marks question. Okay, so that is question number 6.4.2. now let's go to question number 7. Okay, let's go to question number 7. Question number 7, what is that one? In the diagram, B, E and D are points in the same horizontal plane. A, B and C, D are vertical poles. Okay, so first let me draw that diagram, then I will explain from there. So this is the given diagram, and here they are saying that this A, B and C, D are vertical poles, and all these angles and this length, the 8.6, that means CE, the total length from here to here, this length is 8.6 centimeter, and meter. B is 10, this length is 10 centimeter, and all the angles. Okay, so based on that diagram you have to answer the following questions. Question number 7.1. what is that question? Height of the pole CD, you have to find this height CD. Okay, so here you can see that this angle is 90 degree. Look at that triangle CDE, this triangle. Okay, so we know the length of CE is 8.6 and this angle is 27. Okay, so if I draw that triangle here, this angle is 90 degree, this is E, and this angle is 27, this is what we want to find, and this one is 8.6. okay, so how can you find this CD now? Based on this is a grade 10 question, based on this angle, this is the opposite side, this is 90 degrees, so this one is hypotenuse. So what is the relation between opposite side and hypotenuse? That is, which trigonometry is that? Sine. Okay, so sine 27 is equal to opposite side. Opposite side is CD divided by hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is 8.6. So what is CD from there? Cross multiply. So it is 8.6 times sine 27. So check in your calculator what is answer for that one. In your calculator you will get 3.9 meter. Question number 7.2, that's a simple question. Length of the cable AE. You have to find the length of the cable AE. Where is that one? AE. Okay, so this angle, this one is 90 degree, am I right? This angle. Okay, so based on this one, okay, we know this side is 10 and we have to find that AE. So which trigonometry we have to use? Yeah, this is not a standard grade 10 grade 12 question. Okay, it's a simple question. You know, in grade 10 you are studying this one, applying different trigonometries. Okay, this is 90 degree, this angle is 40, this is 10, and you have to find this AE, am I right? And based on this angle, which side is this? Based on this angle, this is the opposite side, am I right? So which side is this? Adjacent side. And you have to find the, this is 90 degrees, so it means this is the hypotenuse. So adjacent side hypotenuse you have to find. So which trigonometry is connecting adjacent side and hypotenuse? Yeah, of course, cos. Okay, so it is cos of which angle? Cos 40 is equal to adjacent side, that is 10, hypotenuse, that is what we want to find, AE. Okay, so from here we have to find the value of AE. So try to understand in one step, try to do, don't write too many steps. This AE will go here, cross multiply, and this cos 45 will come, cos 10 will, cos 40 will come here. Okay, so you just swap it around, this AE multiply here, this cos 40 will come here. So what is AE in one step? AE is equal to 10 divided by cos 40. Check in your calculator what is answer for that one. 10 divided by cos 40, 13.05. So answer is 13.05. It's 13, sorry. AE is equal to 13.05. That is question number 7.2. Now let's go to question number 7.3. So this length is 13.05. And what was CD? 3.9. Okay. Now next question, question number 7.3. What is that one? Length of the cable AC. You have to find the length of the cable AC. Which one is AC? 7.3. Question number 7.3. Which one is AC? This length is AC. You have to find that length. So how can you find that one? Length of the cable AC. So this is what you want to find. This length you have to find. Okay. So look at this triangle. So here we know this side now. What is that? 13.05. We know this one, that is 8.6. Do we know the corresponding angle? Yes, that is 17. So two corresponding sides and that angle also we know. So how can you find this opposite side? Which trigonometry you can apply? Which rule you can apply? Of course, cosine rule. Am I right? Okay. So if you know two corresponding sides and that inclined angle, then you can find the opposite side using the cosine rule. Okay. What is cosine rule? How can you write? AC square is equal to, do you remember cos rule? Okay, those who didn't study this cos rule, sine rule, cos rule and area rule, you must watch that class lessons. Okay, there I explain clearly how can you apply cos rule, sine rule and area rule. Okay, so here we have to find this AC. So AC square is equal to sum of the other square, A square plus, then which one is the other side? C square minus 2 into AE into CE into cos of that angle. What is angle? 70 degrees. So now substitute the values. We have to find AC. So AC squared is equal to AE 13.05 square plus what is CE? 8.6. 8.6 square minus 2 into 13.05 into 8.6 into cos of 70. So AC square, take your calculator, try to find the answer of that one. In your calculator you will get 167.49. 167.49. So what is AC? Square root of 167.49, that is AC is equal to, check in your calculator, square root of 167, 12.94. 12.94. So the length of AC is 12.94. So guys, that is the last question, and there we done now February March 2017 question paper. So hope you understand clearly. So keep on practice. See you on the next lesson.